AASHTO, building a legacy of leadership for more than 100 years. Here now is part 3 of our conversation with retiring Executive Director Frederick "Bud" Wright. But let's talk about the career that you've had. It spans well over 30 years. Describe how things have evolved since you started in this industry.
Well, for one, when I started, and actually it's been over 40 years, I am reluctant to admit, the AASHTO Journal, one of the publications that you and many others on our communication staff are very familiar with, was paper. And everything was paper. When I started in Federal Highway Administration in 1975, there was no such thing as email. Technology has become a much more significant factor, I think, in transportation and the way in which it's delivered as well. You know, we're talking about connectivity. We're talking about vehicles being able to communicate with one another. We're talking about advanced technologies and composite materials for building structures. We're talking about advances in pavements technology, things that people don't necessarily think about. I mean, a road today pretty much looks like a road did in 1975, but it's not the same. The pavement is quite different than it was in those days. So there's been a lot of evolution, I think, Tony, in our industry. And, you know, and I would say that my experience has been, and I think it's going to be for the future, that change is going to always be evolutionary. It's not going to be revolutionary. I don't think, even with automated vehicles, it's not a turn of the switch that, you know, everything is going to be different tomorrow. We're going to get there slowly, but we are going to get there.
You, from 2001 to 2008, prior to coming here, were Executive Director of the Federal Highway Administration, charged with leading thousands of personnel and administering a $40 billion annual federal aid highway program. Tell us about that period of your career and the impact you had on the transportation system nationwide.
Well, I was honored to be in that role, as I have been to serve as Executive Director at AASHTO. It gave me a chance really to develop an appreciation for state departments of transportation. It also helped me understand better, you know, where can the Federal Highway Administration make its impact. I think it's important to have that federal agency there overseeing the activities of the states, and in ways that are not dissimilar from AASHTO, sharing best practices, making sure that states know how best to deliver their services. And frankly, there's a regulatory responsibility associated with the fact that we were distributing $40 billion a year to the states.
You've been at AASHTO, as I said, for 6 years, leading in 2014 the association's celebration of its 100th year. What are your thoughts about that celebration and the significance of a centennial?
Well, one of the things that I tried to emphasize when we were celebrating the centennial is that, yes, it's important to celebrate our success, over a century of success. I mean, that's pretty unusual in any industry. But I also thought it was a great platform for looking forward. Let's focus on what it is that we need to do to be successful for the next 10 years, the next 20 years, hopefully for the next century. You and I won't be around to celebrate that 200th anniversary, but I really do believe that there will be an association then, because what we stand for, the sorts of things and services that we deliver to the state DOTs are going to continue to have value.
This is an exciting time to be in transportation, which raises the question, why at this time have you decided to head off into the sunset, so to speak?
Well, good question, and lots of people are asking me that question, and I would say no specific one reason. You know, it felt right to me for a lot of reasons. I've been doing this for almost 44 years. I know that I probably still have some things to contribute, but I also know that, at least in my experience, I'd rather be the person heading for the door before they're pushing me in that direction than waiting for that push, Tony. And I feel that way. I feel very proud of what I've been able to do. But, you know, I'm ready for the next person to take on the challenge. I think we're in a great place for someone new to come in and sort of recalibrate and set that direction going forward. I'm very comfortable in my decision, and I'm looking forward to that next phase of my life.
Thank you so much, Bud, for being here today and talking candidly about your career and about the future. And on behalf of everybody here at AASHTO, we wish you good luck.
Thank you, Tony. It's been my pleasure to work with you and with everybody at AASHTO. Thanks.
This has been a conversation with retiring Executive Director Frederick Wright, Part 3.